Good morning, my friends. Glad you're here. I'm going to read a blog post of mine that is on my website. I hope you don't mind me reading. And I don't read because I don't know the story. I know this particular story very well. But I read it because I might take you on a detour somewhere, and I'm good at that. And I want to stick with the story, keep it short, keep it concise, make my point, and get off because I know you have a life to live, places to go, things to do. So I try to keep this short. It is called A Voice Almost Silenced. It's a vulnerable part of my story. It isn't very long, it's short. I am going to read it, and after that, we'll just have some closing thoughts. It's called, as I say, A Voice That Was Almost Silenced. At the age of 35 and with 3 children under age 10, I made a grim and gruesome discovery. What's that grape-sized lump on my throat? I wondered as I gazed in the mirror. Very troubling. I was getting ready for work one morning and I just see this grape-sized lump on my throat. I was a busy wife, mom, bank employee, and church volunteer, just to name a few of the plates I was spinning. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to think about it. However, the lump did not go away, and in a few weeks, to keep this short, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Within 5 years, I underwent 3 major surgeries, the last one being the Mohs surgery, which was called a radical neck. As I was being prepped for this last surgery, and at the age of 40 by now, the surgeon took my face like this, cupped my face in his hands, and he looked directly into my eyes, and he said something so shocking that I prayed God would take me to heaven right then and there. Ma'am, he said, I neglected to tell you this earlier, but when you wake up, you may not have a voice. I don't remember much of what he said after that, but apparently he went on to explain that the vocal cords sometimes get in the way of this serious surgery. I was stunned, but the next thing I remember was waking up in post-surgery with 32 carpet staples in my neck, and they were carpet staples. They were, from my ear down to my shoulder and right across. I was wheeled in my room, and as I was, the tears started to come out of my eyes, down into my hair and onto the pillow. While I was relieved to be out of surgery, panic set in as I vaguely remembered the words I heard just before I went to sleep in the OR. Now I lay in total silence, fear, and dread, while my thoughts were sporadically racing with the possibility and sad prospect of never speaking again. And I was a mom. I had lots to say. My mind shouted, please, God, please, God, let me still have my voice. I promise to use it for good in this world. Please, God, please, God. I was sure others could hear it. It seemed so loud, but just in my mind. Always having been afraid of my own voice, I was timid to ask a question in school. I frequently hoped someone else in the class would ask the same question I would have, if not for my insecurities. The thought of losing my voice, however, was beyond terrifying. After what seemed like hours, but was likely only a few minutes, I tried to utter a faint whisper, then another with a little more force. It wasn't long before I heard the sound of my own voice, as if for the very first time. It was the sweetest, most precious sound I believed I had ever heard up to that point. But I take it back. As I was writing that, I put the most precious sounds of all were the cries of my babies when I heard their little coos for the very first time. And I mean that with all my heart. After having experienced this trauma, I remember feeling broken, damaged, and unattractive for many years due to the scars of my neck and missing muscle from my ear to my shoulder. I often had my hair cupped around my neck and I wore a scarf and that, and I'm used to it now, and it's just a part of who I am now. But I often remind myself that scars are a sign of healing. That was years ago. But I still hesitantly feel compelled to use my voice because of that prayer and because I'm happy I still have my voice. Speaking is not my comfort zone, but that only means I rely on God for direction each time I share my heart with others to encourage them. By the time we all reach midlife, most of us have scars. They may not be visible, but equally as disabling, if we allow them to be, that is. If you have physical and or emotional scars, my friends, please, please do not let them hold you back from being who God created you to be, from using your gifts and your talents to bring joy to your spirit and to encourage others and to make your life meaningful. My friend, as I sign off, and I know you are my friend if you're listening to this, you are a treasure. I want to remind you that you are a treasure, and your scars really are a sign of healing. So never, 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 never give up because you're here for a purpose, and we're longing to hear about your story if you ever want to tell it. If not, that's okay too. So I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And my treasured friends, I want you to remember that you may be broken, you may have a few scars, but besides being a treasure, you are also very beloved. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Have a great week.